Page 412, Chapter 27, The Disciples and Disciples' Agitation. After Emmanuel had finished speaking, the disciples and disciples became agitated and said, quote, "Why do we not capture Judas Ischkerioth and stone him, so he cannot betray you?" But Emmanuel was angry and said, quote, "Do you not know that the law says, quote, 'You shall not kill in deviation,' or in a badly getting out of the control of the good human nature? And do you not know what I foretold you? That I shall be staked in order to gain great cognition? How dare you want to disregard that which is sealed, or that which is determined? For thus it is pre-given and intended, or determined. And how dare you want to kill a life, since you want to protect me, when I, nevertheless, taught you to give protection to the life, or to protect the life? So you therefore shall not kill. Consider this. Just as I have to walk on my pathway, so each human being also has to walk on his or her pathway. Truly I say to you, if I were not to follow that which is sealed, or that which is determined, how could I be in position to fulfill my calling or mission, which will still lead me into a distant land far to the east, or India? You of little courage and knowledge, I have certainly taught you the truth, and yet you do not recognize it. How can it still be inconceivable, or not understandable, therefore, that after my departure you will falsify my teaching and disseminate it in all directions and unto the ends of the world, or worldwide, as false teachings and false cults, or religions, sects? Because of what you will do, the world will resound with false guidance and false teachings in all directions. Many among you will bear blame for the fact that the truth will not be recognized by very many human beings, and that everything will be wrongly understood, although I have taught you the truth. There will be great reverberations in the world on account of your false teachings, which you will spread. You did not understand the words of the knowledge and, hence, the truth of my teaching. You are all struck with blindness in your understanding, like the rightful people in this land, who are held in unknowledge and in suppression by the God-believers, just as the true prophets foretold for this human species, because it has likewise separated from, or become disloyal to, the teaching of the truth, like the God-believers, who plundered this land and since then dominated and suppressed its rightful landowners. Since my calling, or mission, task, is fulfilled among this race, or people, and since, due to the fault of the God-believers, and due to their confused teachings, I was unable to teach any insight among the people, as their thinking is against the insight, or rationality, because of confused and false teachings, I will therefore leave and go to the other human species in the north and in the east, for the teaching of the truth shall also be brought to them. Just as this race, or people, standing under the violent rule of the God-believers, as well as the truly rightful owners of the land, are under the laws and recommendations of the creation, so also are the other races under these. So each race, or people, in the far north and east, where cold and ice reign on the highest mountains, and at the ends of the world, or north and south poles, and also the race, or people, in the distant land, or India. As a true prophet, my earliest self, or personality, as former forefather Nocodemian, has come back into the world from the realm of the spirit, or pure spirit level of Arahat Athersata, and was sent here in accordance with the request or wish of the Ishwish, now as Emmanuel, in order to teach the human species in the newly brought teaching of the truth. Therefore, I must walk on my pathway, as determined by myself and my forefathers, the true prophets, and as requested by the Ishwish. Thus, I also am connected to the request or wish of the Ishwish, and to his laws, as the Ishwish himself is connected to the laws of the creation. In Bethany, verse 18. And Emmanuel finished his talk and departed for Bethany, and the house of Simon, the leper, so that he might give him knowledge and consolation through the teaching. Behold, a woman came up to him, and she had a clay vessel with costly water, or pure mineral water from a special spring, and poured some of it on his head as he sat at the table. But when his disciples and disciplesses accompanying him saw that, two of them became angry and indignant, and said, quote, "What is the benefit of this waste? We could have sold this water at a high price, so the proceeds could have served the poor." But when Emmanuel heard this, he indignantly scolded his disciples and disciplesses, and said, quote, "Why are you upsetting this woman? She has done me a good deed according to her senses or understanding, because she is entrusted with the quote teaching of the prophets. In this wise she shows her gratitude, so nothing is too expensive for her. This woman has become wise, so she lives according to the laws and recommendations of the creation. Therefore she thanks me with the costly water, and has wetted my head. Her gratitude will be lasting, and from now on her deed shall be known throughout the world. Truly I say to you, wherever my teaching will be taught in all the world, whether it is falsified or whether it corresponds to the truth, what the woman has done will be told for her remembrance or memory. But just as her remembrance, or memory, will remain into the time to come or future, so also a false teaching will remain, by which our companion, Judas Ischkerioth, will be slandered or defamed. Because there is one from among you who deceptively presents himself as, or pretends to be, our companion, and who accompanies us at times, or from time to time. He is accusing me of treachery, and is selling me for a handful of pieces of silver. While we are here together, Judas Ischkerioth, the son of the Pharisee, is forging evil intrigues against me in Jerusalem. So he is revealing me to the chief priests and to the Pharisee, Simeon Ischkerioth, as a blasphemer of their false teachings and their God. At this very moment, as we are gathered here, he is asking the chief priests for the blood money that they have offered for my capture. And 30 pieces of silver are being offered to him if they capture me through his help. And he has already received 70 pieces of silver to begin with, or in advance, as a deduction, or advance payment, upfront money, for the writing which Judas Ischkerioth wrote down about me, and which Judas Ischkerioth stole from him and sold. While the plot or conspiracy is being forged against me, the crowd is also conceiving intrigues against one among you, so that there will be a culprit for them to present to the people. As Judas Ischkerioth, the son of the Pharisee, will turn me over to the henchmen, my disciple, Judas Ischkerioth, will be considered the traitor. This, so that the message to the people will be, quote, "Behold, these confused ones are divided among themselves, so that one betrays the other. How then can the teaching of Emmanuel be the one of truth?" But since Judas Ischkerioth, the son of the Pharisee, and my disciple, Judas Ischkerioth, have nearly the same names, or the two first names are the same, and the family names are confusingly similar, the lie of the chief priests and the Pharisees and Sadducees will be accepted from the beginning. And so it will be that the Pharisee, Simeon Ischkerioth, the father of Judas Ischkerioth, will write a slanderously vilifying writing, or defamatory writing, in the name of Judas Ischkerioth, against himself and against me, and he will therefore lie, claiming that the betrayal was brought about with a penchant, or with an intention, or planned, by both of us. Therefore, it shall be that he will vilify or slander Judas and me with the writing, in that we are supposed to have made an agreement or a pact, and therefore my teaching is supposed to be made immortal by the betrayal and my death. But this is not the truth, and neither is the slanderous vilification or calumny of Pharisee Simeon, that Judas Ischkerioth is supposed to be enticed into betrayal by my striving or incitement, so that I will be delivered to the God-believers, the chief priests, and the Pharisees and Sadducees and the Romans. Therefore, the Pharisee Simeon's slanderously vilifying writing, or defamatory writing, will serve to make his son, Judas Ischkerioth, free from guilt, so that Judas Ischkerioth will be guilty of the betrayal, and I will be guilty of evil guilefulness or insidiousness, for my usefulness or advantage, so that my teaching of the prophets should be carried on. Therefore the Pharisee Simeon Ischkerioth, together with a scribe, will write a devious or deceptive and falsely fabulated message, or false gospel, in the name of Judas Ischkerioth. Hence, the distortion, or the deception, about the truth will be completed, and the devious message will be revealed in the distant time to come, or future. The Last Supper, verse 40. On the first day of the unleavened bread, Emmanuel spoke to his disciples and disciplesses, quote, "Go forth into the city, to my good friend, to me, Aaron, and tell him, quote, Emmanuel says to you, I want to have a last meal with all my disciples and disciplesses at your house, for behold, the feast of the Passover is near." And 3 disciples did as Emmanuel had instructed them, and the others prepared the meal, together with Aaron and his wife, in the house. And when they sat down and were eating, Emmanuel said, quote, "Behold, the time is near when I have to take my heavy burden upon myself. I am going away as it is written of me by the true prophets, and as I have beheld in a vision and in a prevision, or foresight. However, my death will only be an apparent death, or powerlessness. Yet I will suffer much pain, but you shall not fear and not worry about me, for I will get up and lift myself back up from apparent death, or powerlessness. Truly I say to you, from now on I will no longer take to myself any drink from the fruit of the vineyard, or eat any food from the bread, grain, or wheat spelt rye, until the day when I will be with you again, after my severe ordeal and after my suffering. So it will be when I wake up from apparent death, or powerlessness, and appear again. So I will have lain in the tomb cave for 3 days and 3 nights. As they were eating, Emmanuel took the bread, broke it, and gave it to the disciples and disciplesses, who were present in full number, or all 12 disciples and 17 disciplesses, as well as Emmanuel's mother Maria and his confidant Maria Magdalena, equals 32 persons. And he said, quote, "Take it and eat. The body requires nourishment, even in times of distress and grief." And he took the cup, gave it to them, and said, quote, "Drink from this cup, all of you. The throat becomes thirsty, even on a day that is full of rain and cold. Truly I say to you, A wise person does not suffer from hunger and does not thirst, because some things must happen or be fulfilled. But a fool suffers hunger and thirsts on account of lack of insight or irrationality, and dissent against things that must happen or be fulfilled. And truly I say to you, just as you do not understand my words now, and are angry with me because of them, so will you also be angry with me in this night, because your sageness or intellect still has not been enlightened with cognition. But when I get up from the apparent death, or powerlessness, and thus from the tomb cave and appear again, I will walk in front of you to Galilee, so that you may recognize the truth of my words, and your sageness or intellect may grasp it. I taught you knowledge and the truth, yet you are in doubt, and you do not trust me. You, who are faint-hearted and of little confidence, how startled and confused you will be when I meet you again after my apparent death, or powerlessness. For I will be assumed dead. But Petrus answered him, saying, quote, Even if they all become angry with you, I still will never do that. Emmanuel, however, said to him, quote, Truly I say to you, you are one of the worst, because in this night before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. But Petrus contradicted him, saying, quote, This will never come to pass, and if I were forced to die with you, I still would not deny you.